Oh, what's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson. This is Supergirl. Episode 5. Eh, it's not as bad as the first three, but it's not as good as last week. Mainly because last week actually focused more on the superhero part of it, less on the stupid stuff. This one almost exclusively was about Jimmy, Lucy, Kara, Win. That whole little love square that they think is so clever how they've done it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Love triangles never work. Love squares especially don't work unless it's for laughs. If it's for laughs, if it's to be funny, that's fun to watch. It's funny sometimes, but they're not playing it funny. They're not. They're playing it serious. Like, she's so into him, but he's so into her. But it's frustrating to watch this. In fact, just for reference, have a little. I started taking notes because it started off with like something stupid, immediately followed by something good. So I'm like, I want to see how back and forth this pros and cons list goes. First of all, the first con that just instantly made me facepalm is Win is apparently like taking calls for Kara while she's away doing Supergirl stuff, and he's like rushing. He can't handle it, and then all of a sudden she actually uses her super speed in the middle of the freaking office. Really? Like, she uses the super speed. Like, nobody's gonna be able to see her. Nobody's gonna see her instantly. I mean, it's so dumb. So freaking dumb. The one after, like, there's another point when she's picking up Kat's kid where she like flies into the bushes nearby. That was a little bit better, at least. Well, maybe they didn't see her, but it's just like she runs through the freaking office. How can people not see that? But a few seconds later, she's talking to Kat about babysitting, and it kind of redeemed itself because it had a funny moment when they were talking about babysitting, and Kat was like, "So why are you really doing this?" And Kara's just doing it to be nice. She's like, yeah, "People do stuff sometimes just to help out," and she's like, "So you're doing this hoping that I do a favor for you later." I'm so proud of you, Kara. I didn't think you had it in you. And that was kind of funny to see her misunderstand her intentions and kind of be proud of her thinking that she is trying to extort favors later. That was kind of funny. But then a little bit later, followed up with some stupid Lucy and Jimmy freaking drama. Um, it's just she goes to get food. Jimmy and Lucy are sitting in there talking about the relationship, and then Lucy leaves. Jimmy talks to Kara about it, and his opinion, blah blah blah. But to be fair, followed up quickly by a pro, it's interrupted by an action scene, which I wish they would do more often. How in so many superhero shows, the way it normally goes is there's some relationship stuff going on with people, whoever, but then something interrupts that. In this show, for the longest time, it's been some action stuff is going on, but it's interrupted by the relationship stuff. Like, literally, later on in the show, and I'll get to this, like, she's about to go take on, like, she's about to go in the final battle to find out where the bomber is, and she was just talking to Jimmy about stuff, and that interrupts it, and I'm like, thank you. And then as she flies away, and she's like talking to somebody about it, it cuts back to Jimmy and Lucy talking about the relationship again. I'm like, get it through your heads, people. Relationship stuff is stupid, especially in a show like this. I don't care about that stuff. And pretty much, it goes con pro, and then it's 3 cons no, 5 cons in a row, and it's all of the relationship drama bullcrap. Like, there's more stuff with Alex talking to Um, Alex talking to Kara about Jimmy and how she's always in the friend zone because she's always helping people. First of all, that hardly ever happens with girls. That always happens with guys. I can attest. You so busy helping the girl, listening to her, let her talk out her feelings about other guys, you end up being a friend and not a boyfriend. And this never happens with girls, especially if the girl is as pretty as Kara is. There's no way that some guy's not good. I'm getting a little bit personal here, but seriously, like, she says it like this has happened so many times to Kara. Really? I don't think so. This is probably the first time this has ever happened, and just because it's Jimmy, and he can have any girl that he wants because he's tall, dark, and handsome. Um, I highly doubt that she's had this issue before, and Alex talks about it like, you never have a boyfriend because you're always helping them, and they never want to date you because of that. Yeah, bull crap. Um, if I had some pretty girl that was trying to help me out with my problems, I'd be like, you're really helpful. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad we're friends, and you're really pretty. Say, do you think that? Anyway, let's see. Even more Jimmy and Lucy drama. I think they have another scene where they're talking about it again. I can't remember. The typical friend zone triangle cliche. I don't know if you know what this is, the friend zone triangle. What generally happens is the girl is getting friend zoned by the guy, but she's friend zoning another guy because she's so focused on that guy. I've seen this happen so many times that it is a cliche by now. If it's not a cliche, somebody needs to go into like the cliche dictionary and put it in there. Friend zone triangle, because it just Wynn does all this stuff for her, friend zoned by her. She's so in love with him because he's handsome, friend zoned by him. And it's just you don't feel bad for Kara because of what she's doing to Wynn. You feel bad for Wynn, and you think Jimmy's a jerk for it. So you hate two out of these three characters involved. Even more Jimmy and Lucy drama. Once again, all of these scenes just mixed together, but it felt like every other scene was about Jimmy and Lucy and Kara involved. Like every other scene, they would have like that scene, and then they'd have a little tiny scene about Maxwell Lord and what he's doing. Another scene with them, little tiny scene about the bomb. Another scene with them, little tiny scene about Maxwell Lord again. But then followed by two pros. One, the bomber's plan at the end was really smart. Planning two bombs, one at the airport and then another one on the train on himself, which find out later is not even his plan, but that was a good plan. The show's storytelling so far has been iffy at best. This was actually a well done villain plan. I appreciate that. Another pro, Kat's kid, Carter, he's enjoyable. At the beginning, he's kind of bleh, dull, like he's not talking at all. Talks a bit about Supergirl when he sees her, kind of fanboys over her. But there's this scene at the end when Kat gets back, and he's talking to her about everything that happened. But he says that he got to meet Supergirl. She's like, "What do you think makes her a hero?" He's like, "Her legs, Mom." And she's like, "Mom, it's her heart. I'm just kidding." And she's like, "Oh, you made a joke." That was hysterical. I wish we would have gotten more of that kid, not the dull guy that we got at the beginning. Hopefully he comes back in future episodes. But according to Kat, Car's never going to babysit him again. But there's one final. I'm going to put this away now because that was pretty much it for most of the pros and cons. There's one final big just con that I have to explain everything going on with Maxwell Lord. It's interesting, it kind of felt, I guess, a bit predictable. Like whenever the first bomb went off and the drone was there scanning Supergirl, I was like, did he plant that bomb himself to scan her? And like I said, that story was interesting. And then the bomber's plan, I was like, okay, that's interesting. But then the bomber's like, I did this for my little daughter. I was like, ooh, so maybe it is Maxwell Lord. That's interesting. I like this. I like this story. It's a little bit tricky. He's forcing people to do, but why is he doing it? Well, she goes to his office, confronts him, and he admits to everything. To scanning her agility, scanning her, strength with the first two drones that he sent in. The bomb was her strength, and then the whole planning, whatever his name was, on the train with the bomb. She didn't go to the bomb in the airport with thousands of people. She went to the train with hundreds of people, and so he's like, well, that must mean there's somebody on the train that you care about. And I'm getting closer to your secret identity. I'm like, okay, so this guy's evil, and he just sacrificed a man to try to figure out Supergirl's identity. That's pretty clever, except for the fact that Supergirl hears all this and just says, "This isn't over," flies away. She flew away. You know what superheroes do when they confront the villain and they hear the villain's secret plan that nobody else knows about that could possibly kill more people in the future? They fly away. They don't stop the villain. Even though they're in the villain's office, the villain is just a regular human being who has no superpowers, and he obviously has a plan to probably wreck some more people's lives in the future. He just killed a man. He just, like, the bomber on the plane, he just let him kill himself to save his own daughter's life, which he was using his daughter as kind of a bargaining chip against him. The daughter was sick, and he said, "Look, I'll help pay for her doctor bills, but you have to bomb these places." And the guy ends up sacrificing himself for it. Yeah, that guy. You have him right where you want him. You're Supergirl, which means you have super strength, super speed, and I highly doubt that anybody, especially Alex earlier when she was hearing him kind of talk about how he needs to take risks to save the city, blah blah blah. I somehow doubt anybody's gonna complain if you just picked him up by his collar and took him to the DEO and said, "Hey, he's the one behind the bombing attacks." I don't think anybody's gonna argue with you, but your biggest decision is just to fly away. That's interesting. So now I know. Whenever I've got the solution to my problem, it's right there in front of me. Let's say I've got a math problem. 2 plus 2. It's that simple. Just 2 plus 2. I know the best thing to do is just to walk away from that problem. Just don't even deal with it. The problem will solve itself, I'm sure. I don't have to worry about it. I'll leave the problem there. The problem will just stay right there. It's not going to get solved, but at least I know how to solve it. That's the important part. The important part is knowing how to solve. No! I have a serious problem that I don't have anything to throw. I don't have anything to punch right now, actually. I feel a bit better. How stupid can you get? Like, seriously, it's like the Reactron episode when she knocks his plate off and he doesn't have any more power. He jumps off and she just watches him go. You have the problem solved. It's right there. You're Supergirl, and you just wait. You just don't do anything about it. He just confessed to everything, and you just fly away. Like, okay, well, so you're evil. So you're you might kill people to figure stuff out later. I'm just gonna leave now. See ya. No, you take him and you drag him to jail and be like, hey, look, I'm Supergirl. He just told me his old plan. I'm a hero, so yeah, believe me, and throw him in jail. But they don't do that, and it's so stupid. I don't get it. They've already made one stupid decision like that. Why are you making another one? Deal with the problem. Don't just let it fester until he kills more people trying to figure out your secret identity. No, you take him to jail. I don't get it. And yeah, people might say, well, she didn't have any evidence, and all of it's circumstantial. Who cares? Who freaking cares? You're Supergirl. He is gonna kill people to try to get to you. You know, that just... I don't get it. And maybe it's just the frustration with the show from the first 3 episodes that's clouding my judgment, but I'm pretty sure that I'm thinking straight on this. It's really frustrating that that's how they ended it. They ended it with her figuring it all out, him revealing that she's right, and then just fly away. As you can tell, I'm very upset with how this ended. And the sad part is, I was actually willing to overlook most of that relationship stuff. Even though it was most of the episode, the story, the main plot itself, was interesting enough to make me go, oh, okay. You know, like, I was into the main plot, the whole thing with the bombings, all of that. I was like, I can get into this. The relationship stuff is a bit distracting, but it'll go away eventually. You know, Jimmy's with Lucy now. Maybe that will just stop with Kara. Maybe she'll decide, well, you know, Wynn's a nice guy. He's helping me out a lot. Maybe all that's about to go away. Maybe they're just going to stick to the main plot. But then they end it this way, and I'm just like, I'm almost done. If it were not for the sake of the review, and reviewing shows like this that need to be reviewed, I would be done. I seriously would be done. Because Anyway. Ignoring the ending, not a bad episode, not a good one either, but it's somewhere in between. Too much relationship distracting from the plot and the action and all of that. You can have the relationship stuff, have your stupid love triangle if you want, but don't focus everything around that love triangle. Make that something on the side. The relationships are not supposed to be center stage for this show, and it is right now. They keep cutting away from everything else going on to show that, to show the relationships. That's not what you want out of a superhero show. It's, like I've said before, it's becoming a chick flick. It really is. And it should be, it's about Supergirl, it should be a superhero show. It should not be a chick flick going, oh, he's so hot, but he likes her, but I don't know who I want, but he's so nice and I'm too nice to say anything about it. No, you're Supergirl, go out there, kick some butt, and yeah, that's how I feel about the show right now. The only other thing that I have to ask, just because I may have missed this, and I want some clarification, so if you're still watching this, please answer my question in the comments down below. Didn't they say that the train had no friction, which is why it's able to go so fast, and yet whenever she stops it, there clearly is friction between her feet and the rail? So, I'm kind of a science person. I'm not a huge science genius. I'm more of a math person, so the math sciences I like. So physics is one that I do enjoy. And one of the things I learned in physics is if there's no friction, things are just going to keep sliding. And it sounded like that's what made the train go, is the fact that there's no friction between the train and the rail, so the train just goes. Now, maybe that means that there's still friction between the rail and other things, which is how she stopped it. But I don't understand how you would make no friction between two objects, but then there's friction between one object and a different object. I don't know. That's my science. If you understand what happened there, if you're able to explain that to me, please let me know. Because I'm obviously frustrated with the ending, but that's something that's bugging my science mind right now. So I just thought I'd throw it out there. But anyway, just comments down there. Please let me know what you think. Am I wrong? Am I completely wrong? Because I feel like I'm justified. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just frustrated with the show right now. So let me know what you think. I'll see you at the next review. Peace out.